Hello everyone. From this video, let us try to understand how to work on BA6933 week 4A2, which is a research project phase 2 activity. Actually, in BA6933-1 week 2A2, we have worked on research project phase 1. Just cross check with this research ID and you will find what you like on which project you opted to work on. Okay, so select that data, select that task, and in the task I told you to get data set from kaggle.com. You might be having your own data set by this time. So when you click on that link, you can see like this, you will get some sort of data. Okay, so you just download it and perform the activity that I am mentioning. It's a simple activity. After completing the activity, you are supposed to write one page summary on that. Okay, after completing the document, you are supposed to write a summary of key variables in relationship to the problem, how they are related to the problem. So you might have created a research problem in the phase one, and for that research problem, whatever the variables we have selected, how they are related, that we are supposed to explain. Okay, so meanwhile, what we should do, we should identify the data set. Already that is done in the phase two. And for the data set, we are supposed to perform data pre-processing and exploratory data analysis. So by the words, it might look difficult, but it's a simple task. So data pre-processing means we are supposed to clean the data. And before we perform analysis, before processing it for analysis, we will be making sure that data is perfect. Okay, so after making the data perfect, we perform basic data analysis to understand what are the actual attributes that are existing in the data and how each attribute is related to each other. Okay, how attributes are related to each other that we will be evaluating. Then we perform correlation analysis and we try to identify key variables that can solve our problem. So we might be having multiple variables. Among that, what are the key variables that could influence our work that we will be identifying? Okay. Now, now this is my data set. Okay. My data set has a date, time. Maybe like I don't want these two columns. Anyhow, let me keep that. So I have date, time, cash type, card, session, people on table, and money, and what type of product they used or they purchased. Okay, these are some values I have. Now I need to segregate what kind of values are numerical and what are not numerical, because in most of the data exploration, like when we try to perform EDA analysis, okay, so descriptive statistics, when we try to generate, definitely, it won't take text values to be participate. Like it won't allow that. So, for example, if you take Control A and if you try to perform correlation analysis, select input range and output range in the maybe same file. Okay, I'm just clicking it. What it is saying, correlation input range contains non-numeric data. So this analysis can use only numeric data, not non-numeric data. So we need to transform it in a more better way. And second thing is, say for example, if I take maybe these two values, okay. If I take these two rows and if I click OK, it will be generating some sort of correlation analysis because these two values are numerical values. Okay, and I will try to remove one value from this. So 38.7, I'm remembering it. And again, I'm trying to perform correlation analysis on the same data set. So it's using the same one, F and G values. And now I'm perform because if you see, F contains all the values, G contains all the values, one less than F. Okay. So, and now I received it because it considered this as a zero. Maybe I take NA. So means it's a missing value. Okay. So what happens then? Most of the times when the value is not present, NA will be shown or NaN blank, some dot type of thing. This kind of data we see there. At that time, what happens? I'm trying to perform correlation analysis. When I click it, it says non-numeric data. Or it also says, see, this contains 100 items and this contains 99 items. I can't perform analysis. In that way, the tool will be explaining us. Okay. So for that purpose, to avoid such kind of things, what we do, we perform data pre-processing, which means we will be cleaning the data. So if something is like this, I'm supposed to handle it before I perform analysis. Okay, how I can handle these things. So let me, um, what is the value I removed it? Just forgot. 38.7, I guess. Shall I make it 38.7? So this is the data I'm having. Say, for example, I'm missing some values from this one. Let us assume your data will definitely contain some missing values. Okay. So there are certain maybe things. So these areas are missing. Okay. Using Excel, how we can perform analysis, let us try to understand. So on this data at the top, we definitely find a header. That is a heading like name of the column that is given. Okay. So when we consider the values, like when we perform analysis, we understand that these values are header values. Okay. So make a note of it. Header values, first line is header value. Now what we should do? So according to me, I've created some sort of understanding for you. First part is handling missing value subject. So here what we do, first thing is if you come across blanks NaN means if the value is blank like this, or if it contains a value like Na, which is also means that it's a missing value, or it might contain Na and something like this. So in such situations, what we should do? So we should handle it, right? We should handle it and we should make sure that it is free of what? Free of such values. Okay. So uh, here it is blank. So first let us understand. If they said there are some blanks existing in the data, how we can remove. So go to home. In the home, click on select everything. Okay, so click and select everything. If you don't select also, that's fine. First, what we try to do, when we find a blank, easiest step is removing that row. So for example, if this row contains a blank, remove that row. That is most often some people who don't want to do extra analysis, they will be doing it. So it's the best idea only. So when we have a missing data, we can remove them. So how to find missing areas inside the data set that is given. So click on any value and click A, control A. You will select everything and here find select, go to special. Find select, here you can see find select in home tab only. In home tab, you will be finding find select, click on select and select blanks. Click OK. It automatically selects areas that are blanks. Okay, right click here, click delete row. It deletes all the rows that consist of blank elements. Okay, so that is how we can make everything removed, like all the missing values are removed from the data set. However, it will be impacting us, but still you can remove everything. So when we have any, so simply control F and any whatever the value you feel like is there, find replace and keep it empty, replace all. it out like in match case. Sorry, I missed this one. Using match case. Okay, click Control Z. It overrides that one. Control H and select here match case. Match case means it should be a whole word. Okay, so now match case replace all. This is how you can remove it. Now it became blank and you can delete that row and you can go ahead. Otherwise, if it is in a numerical value, okay, if the value is in numerical, what we do, we take another column and here what we do is first we need to calculate average of this one. So maybe what could be the average of this value? 3128. Here, what we did, like when we have some values that are missing, like they give NaN, NaN, or Na, what we do in the corrected money, we create a column by corrected money as it was mentioned, and here we use a formula. What we do is, if the row value is Na, then average of row value will be, average of G will be published. Otherwise, G1 will be published. It means if the value is Na, if the value is equal to Na, if this value G1, not G2, right? This is G2. G2, see, if the value is 38.7, if not Na, right? This if Na, then it will be publishing average value. If it is not Na, actual value it will be publishing. There is an actual value, so it is publishing 38.7. So till that you can see that whatever the values mentioned here that are given here. Now this value is Na, so average value of G will be published here. So when we click, drag it down. So this is the average value. Like this, you can create average value that is replaced in the blank value. So you can do any way. So as it was mentioned here, when you got blanks NaN, either you completely delete it, that row, not column. If you can remove that row, otherwise you can replace it with a average value. Okay, so this is one part. First section is handling missing value. This activity you will be doing on, you will be performing on your task. Next one is, so select data, removing the duplicates. If any lines are duplicate lines, that we will be removing from the data. Click on data, and here remove duplicate section is there. Just click on it and click OK. Automatically it removes if any duplicates existing in the data. Okay, so using remove duplicates, you can remove all the duplicates. Next is handling text formats. So if you feel like some unnecessary columns are existing, maybe like date, if it is a unnecessary column, there is no meaning of that one, or serial number, like that. Remove those columns that are because they are not necessary actually. Okay, so how this time is impacting this? If this time date time is impacting the money that is collected, then it is okay. Otherwise, remove it. There will be lot of unnecessary data, or like if the column contains too many missing values like this, so that is of no use. If it contains too many missing values in the row, then that column, just remove that one. That's fine. Okay. So now what we are doing? So now it is NaN, right? So we can change the formula to NaN and you get the data. Okay. So this is how we created data now. Okay. Now, we can you just copy this data, whatever the data existing, just copy it and click separately. First, just click on Alt, next E, next S. Separately, you click it and select values and click OK. So now formula will be gone you will see only values. Now this can be deleted, okay, because I have fully filled values fields. Got it? So that is the second option. Handling text formats. Maybe if this is a text format, right? So what we do is equal to, first we trim it. If it contains extra spaces, we try to trim that one. Trim of this value and click OK. And by doing this, the trim is done. And same kind of activity you will be performing. You will be just copying it and pasting at the same area using Alt E S. All three should be separately clicked and select values. Press OK. Now sessions with trimmed values are existing. Okay. So like this, you are supposed to prepare your data. Okay. So now what we can do based on the analysis, maybe your data set might be containing both textual and non-textual content. So there will be certain reason between this morning session drinking tea and money that is collected, people that are sitting at the hotel. These values will be having some sort of relationships. So you cannot avoid this one morning session. Okay, means session details you cannot avoid. So what we do, just cut it and you can paste it at the last, at the end of the document, at the end of the data set, because it will be easy for you. So you can see how many types of data is existing, maybe morning, evening, and afternoon. So what we do, session morning, we create dummy variable like session underscore morning. So in this column, wherever the value of is morning, that will be 1 and remaining all will be 0. It means is equal to, if this is equal to morning. If it is morning, then it will be 1, otherwise it will be 0. So like this you created dummy variable. So for morning I created a dummy variable. Wherever it is morning, it is generating some value. So here the form missing spelling mistake. Okay. So there are some spelling mistakes, ignore it. This is morning. Okay, anyhow, like this, you can create morning data set into numerical format. These are called dummy variables. We will be handling it. Like we can convert if this text variable, whatever the text variable that we have selected is a meaningful one and we are supposed to use it. Then what we do, we create a dummy variables like this. Okay. So we create evening and we use if conditions. If and what is the column? Session time column. If session time column is equal to, where is the if session time column, like whatever the cell we have selected contains maybe evening, then the value should be 1, otherwise the value should be 0. So like this you can create and you can drag it to generate values. Wherever the value is evening, it will be generating. Now again, we are supposed to create one more because it has three different unique values: morning, evening, and afternoon. Session afternoon maybe is equal to if condition, and if the cell contains afternoon, then it is 1, otherwise it is 0. So when we use this sort of formulas, we can change text content into numerical form. Now, before this, I'm not able to choose these three columns to perform correlation analysis because this contains what? Textual content. Rather than considering this, what I do, I will remove this one and I will consider these three things. Now, when I generate correlation analysis, it automatically creates correlation analysis. Okay, maybe like I will remove these two things from here, cut, and I will paste beside this. Now for this data, I'm generating correlation analysis. Okay, F22. Okay, and labels in the first row. I told you, no, first row of the dataset contains labels. So labels in the first row and click OK. Now you can see it is creating correlation analysis. Okay. So what is the target variable now? If it is money, so how money is having correlation with other things that you should understand properly. Okay. So this is a correlation table that we are creating. Simply, it explains how things are getting influenced with each other. Okay, if you take corrected money, how money is getting having a relationship with other variables. If you take money value is having negative relation with the total number of people on the table because the value is negative. Okay, we can clearly see that the value is negative, right? And money is having a negative value with mornings. Money is having a positive relationship with evening session, and money is also having a positive relationship with session at the evening. So we can create correlation like this. If you don't include these dummy variables, it is not possible to assess how session is influencing money value. You got it? So you need to identify some of the text fields like text columns that can get influence. Okay, so this is how we will be reprocessing textual content into numerical format. So what we did, it is a simple step. We need to take coffee name. If you take coffee, it has a latte. I will take coffee name latte as a column, and wherever the value is latte here, there I keep one value as one. That is what we call a dummy variable of coffee name latte. Got it? That is how we handle everything. At the end of the stage, like after creating all the dummy values, you are supposed to create a correlation value. And what is your target value here? From this data, what is your target thing? What you ultimately are going to achieve? Okay, is it a decision making or it is about a revenue that is generating? What value you are trying to predict? So that will become your target value. So you take the target column and how that target column is getting affected by other columns that are selected in the correlation analysis that should be identified. Okay, so this is correlation table, and you are supposed to identify what values are influencing your target value and how they are influencing. In addition to that, so by this you can identify whatever the values that are largely influencing. Here, if you say one, two, three, if you say here, all are like slightly influencing. Among these, some variables will be largely influencing. When compared to this one is largely influencing. When compared to this one is largely influencing. Like that, you can identify what is largely influencing your target variable, and based on that, you will be deciding what factors among these. Say for example, if somebody asks me to select only two attributes that largely impact the corrected money value, so I say negative impacting people on the table is largely impacting it because 11% it is influencing. Next, second highest is session in the afternoon. These two variables I select to perform further analysis. Okay. So this is how you can select your attributes to perform to identify. Sorry, this is how you can identify important attributes. Means key attributes and their relationships with the target attribute. Got it. In addition to this, what we do, we will be creating histograms maybe descriptive statistics. See, for this one, we are supposed to create a descriptive statistics. Select descriptive statistics, okay, and select data, maybe like this, complete data. Okay, labels in the first row, right? And output range, take output range here itself, maybe somewhere. I'll click OK. Summary statistics. Okay, so now I got different type of attributes and their summaries, mean, median, mode values, other values. So this we are supposed to create, and you can create histograms. Maybe I will select this one and data analysis. I will create a histogram for that data. Maybe G, it contains labels, output range is here. Okay, and bin range is 10 maybe. Click OK. Maybe because of the bin value, it is generating error. So this is how we can generate histogram. For each item, you can generate a histogram like this. Okay. So you need to create a descriptive statistics. You need to create a histogram, and you are supposed to create a correlation analysis for evaluating and identifying key relations. So this is a basic activity and a simple activity that we can perform. Only thing is, the main purpose of explaining all this is first you should evaluate these things. Okay, so you should make sure that data is completely clean and no issues existing in the data. Then you will be performing descriptive statistical analysis. The way I explained, like you can use data analysis and descriptive statistics and select the range, and then you perform histograms, you perform any analysis of your, like the way you know any analysis, and finally you create a correlation analysis table, and based on that you will be discussing how the targeted value is related to other attributes of the data set. Okay, so when you know all these things, you just come to a regular activity. You should save whatever the things you have done, like means descriptive statistics output, histograms, whatever the work you did, you save everything and you keep it for the further analysis, because in week 6 you will be working on the project again. Or week 5 you might be working on the project again. So that data is required, that Excel sheet and whatever the data set you are having, that should be saved for the next future works. Okay, so after saving it, now you understand what data it is and how the histograms are created, what scatter plots you created, and you know everything now. Okay, for that data, what you will be doing, you will be writing one page summary of what work you have done and what are the key variables that you have identified, and how those key values are influencing the target attribute. Whatever the target value is there, how it is influencing it. For that, you will be creating one page summary document. Okay, whatever you have completed and what key things you identified that you should be proposed to submit. All right. So make sure you take data, you clean data following these steps. Okay, handling text formats and numerical data. So make sure your complete data is processed properly. And after processing it, perform basic analysis and write a one page summary document. Okay, hardly to complete this task, it takes 2 to 3 hours max, 2 to 3 hours max. If you are new, if you are experienced, it hardly takes 1 hour to complete, 1 to 2 hours to complete this task. So plan your work and finish it. All the best, team. Thank you.